been the president for a year and a half. You created this bad economy. I feel like they're basically saying to Americans now, it's the economy and you're stupid, instead of it's the economy stupid. They seem to be blaming the voters for not doing a better job finding lower prices.
Kellyanne Conway on this show yesterday as the Biden administration continues to blame everything and everyone else for raging inflation. It now stands at 8.6%, and it's been steadily climbing since President Biden took office. Well, look at that. It's so easy to see. From January 21, that's when he took office, it was already on the rise. The White House not expecting any relief to come with tomorrow's June report.
We expect the headline number, which includes gas and food, to be highly elevated, mainly because gas prices were so elevated in June. Gas and food prices continue to be heavily impacted by the war in Ukraine. And there are a few important points to keep in mind when we get this backwards-looking data. June CPI data is already out of date because energy prices have come down substantially this month and are expected to fall further.
Backwards looking data? Well, yeah, it's always the month previous, right? But it was only a few days ago. The administration is doubling down on what's driving up costs. Even some in the liberal media now are finding it hard to swallow what they're saying. Ooh. That's what we call slapping them with the facts. Fox News contributor and former Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz is here. And Leslie Marshall, also a Fox News contributor. It's great to see both of you. So, Jason, this is not working. I mean, you heard that host there saying, yeah, you guys are at 33%. It's not the Putin price hike.
Yeah, look, inflation is created by government and government alone. It depends on how much money is printed and how much money is spent. And if supply is the problem, then you got to increase the supply. So what are you going to do to increase the supply of gasoline? Not run to Saudi Arabia. You should be able to produce that domestically. And thus far, the president has absolutely, totally, and completely refused to open up the spigot and produce energy products here in the United States. Would be great for jobs, and it would be great for our pocketbooks because it would drive up supply and down the cost of gasoline. And you know what? Why do we need Joe Biden if Joe Biden's just going to blame Putin? If Putin's in control of our economy and Putin's in control of our gas and food and everything else, what do we need Joe Biden for if he offers no solutions?
I got to tell you, I really dislike giving a dictator that much political power on home soil. I mean, it just seems so odd to me. Leslie, how do we make that not happen? Like, I mean, seriously, do we need to go to Saudi Arabia and beg for oil at this point?
No, we don't. But when you have 9,000 land leases and the oil companies say, hey, we're not going to drill there, and when we have the headlines constantly, you know what, Jason, I'm going to take some of your stuff there. You can't, just blame Putin. He would run the world. Well, if we're going to blame Joe Biden because this is a global economic problem, inflation is a global problem, not just in the United States. But then I guess Joe Biden is president of the world, and that's not accurate as well.
So wait a minute.
Gas prices have dropped repeatedly.
The price of our bread that's going up. You heard the press secretary say the headline numbers, which are gas and food, will be highly elevated. Those things are somebody else's fault when they've been going up since he's been in office far before this war with Putin and Ukraine?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I never said it was Putin's fault, and I don't think it is a one person. It's a multifaceted problem, multifaceted approach to solve the problem.
And that's what the White House is saying, the war.
The war is actually part of it. Top economists say that, regardless of their political leanings. It is not solely to blame for that. Neither is inflation solely to blame for legislation which the president and the Democrats passed. If we just look at the facts, like you said, when we look at the facts and we break down the numbers, whether it's just the United States or on a worldwide level, certainly Russia's invasion of Ukraine played into that very strongly and into those numbers.
We'll move now. A New York Times poll finds more than 3/4, 77% of those surveyed say they think the country is going in the wrong direction. We've been saying this for a couple of days now because it is just unreal that only 13% say it's going in the right direction. Several Democratic strategists are sounding the alarm, saying the party has not delivered on its promises and calling on leadership to step it up. And when it comes to fundraising, the RNC is outpacing the DNC this election cycle. Look at that. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, for his part, broke another fundraising record with $50 million in the first half of the year. Jason.
Yeah, those are huge numbers. I think the market is understanding that the power is going to shift. The Democrats don't offer a solution. Look at the hearings. The hearings on Capitol Hill, they're not about crime. They're not about inflation. They're not about the origins of COVID. They're not about immigration. These are the things that people actually care about. They're not about gas prices. I realize Democrats don't like the ruling by the Supreme Court, but have some hearings on things that Americans en masse actually care about.
We had a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee start off this very hour, Senator Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee, and she said so much of the same thing, and she would know. She would sit in there. Leslie, real quick.
Look, I'm not going to lie and say I think that Democrats are going to be in power in the House, but I do know that Republicans are concerned about some Senate races. John Fetterman just outraised every single politician, left or right, in the state of Pennsylvania in this past quarter. So the Senate, I think, is still up for grabs.
We'll see what happens. Up for grabs. Okay. The Faulkner Focus wraps with two great guests. Thank you very much.